What is happening, fans? This is a Comic Bookies podcast. Welcome to episode 110. We are streaming live on YouTube and Twitch. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Come on into the chat, give us a question, give us a comment, whatever you want. First of all, our sponsor, Treasure Island Comics in Fremont, California. Today is New Comic Book Day. It's a beautiful day out here in California, so go see Alex on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays to get all of your new and old comic booking needs. Well, fans, as you can see from the screen, our buddy Sean is not here. He'll be back next week, but myself, Mike, and Mark are here, and we have another interview. So, Mark, we enjoyed 3 interviews in a row to start the month, and then we took a break last week. It was just us 3 colliding the worlds of sports and comics like we do every week. But I'm really excited about this interview. Been trying to get this guy on for a while, and he's finally gracing us with his presence, and we really appreciate it. He is a YouTuber, specifically in the racing games, Formula One, NASCAR, what have you. He is the creator of many personalities like Denny Hamster, Giggles Logano, Jimmy, and Karen.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. Karen Bolsack. But with 11,000 subscribers and over 4 million total views, Michael Marutz, thank you so much for joining us. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have you, man.
What is up? Thank you. Finally, yes, Mike's been talking about you for, I think, ever since the PS5 and stuff started getting released, and he got hooked on that NASCAR game. He's been saying we got to get this guy on. He's just such a great personality, great streamer, and yeah, dude, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, I'm glad that I was finally able to make it. I know it's been a little difficult scheduling, all together and getting me on, but I'm glad I finally was able to make it.
It's a funny story. Before I get into our first question, it's a funny story like how I actually kind of found you. So during the pandemic, I'm going to say, sorry, this is one of the positive things that came out of coronavirus and the pandemic, but, so, we had weeks and weeks and weeks where I was just kind of going to and from work. I didn't have anything to do. I wasn't seeing family, wasn't seeing friends, didn't do anything. So I wanted to get into something new or old in this sense because I used to play video games a lot. So I'm like, you know what, let's go. Let's try this NASCAR game, And so I played NASCAR Heat 3, I think because I got the PlayStation Plus, subscription. It was free 30 days, $9.99 a month, easy. Yeah. And then right when NASCAR Heat 5 came out, NASCAR Heat 4 was dirt cheap, so I bought that. And finally, I was like, what? I need to jump on some of these YouTube videos because I am sucking ass right now at these tracks, and I need to find out what these guys are doing to get better. And sure enough, I run into your page, and my God, my mind was blown. These live streams, all these intros, like, what? This guy is hilarious. And so now I'm like watching all these videos, and dude, yeah. So finally, we have you on. So there's kind of like the backstory of why you're on. But yeah, really appreciate you jumping on, man.
Well, I appreciate all the love, and yeah, thank you for supporting the channel in the way you have. You've been in so many live streams, so now it's cool to finally be in one of yours.
Yeah, it's like every Monday I come home from work and you're going live right when I'm getting home. So I'm like, setting up dinner, playing with the kids for a little bit, and I kind of have you in the background. And as soon as I hear some screaming, I have to go and double tap a few 10, 20 seconds. Like, what happened? What assholes? Like, what trolls in there crashing Michael?
I was going to say, you can't have him in the background with the kids at all times.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Discretion advised, right?
Yep.
But
go ahead and tell. Bleep button.
Yeah. No, we don't want you with a bleep button, though, to tell you the truth. We like you exactly. I mean, I'm sure we and the fans like you exactly how you are. Why don't you go ahead and tell the fans a little bit more about what yourself and how you came to be with all your subscribers and what got you into NASCAR and streaming it? And really, is that the only game that you're really streaming at the moment is really NASCAR games, or do you get into other stuff?
I mean, it's mainly NASCAR. That's kind of like the direction that the channel has taken, that it's centered around NASCAR a lot. I try to do some Formula One stuff, but it seems like it always goes back to NASCAR. And honestly, that's where my heart is when it comes to racing. I love racing. I watch all different forms of racing, but NASCAR is still my favorite. It's what I initially, when I started watching racing, that's the first series I followed, and all the other stuff kind of followed after that. So, yeah, I am pretty lucky, honestly, that it's gone the way it has with NASCAR, and that I've been able to make these videos and have that become so popular because it really is my favorite sport. It's where I started. I mean, on YouTube, I've been on YouTube for like 10 years now. And I worked on a whole bunch of channels leading up to this one. And then I did like compilation based channels before. And I eventually wanted to get into something that was all my own. And that's when I started this gaming channel. And I was doing all sorts of different gaming, all different games at the start. But then the NASCAR thing just started picking up and there was interest there. And I just put all my focus on that. And well, it's gotten to this point now. It's grown, pretty substantially.
I mean, speaking of your fan base, what's up to Caleb and Caitlin? Mark Peter Kenny says, "What up, Mark?" Me and Gabe say, "What's up?"
What's up, guys? Welcome.
It's 10 years, and for us, I hope 10 years from now we have 11,000 subscribers. But what do you think sets yourself apart from these other gaming channels that gets you last week you hit 10,000 and then this week you hit 11,000. For us, this small podcast with a handful of subscribers on YouTube, just like yesterday's live stream, you got like 60 or 70 more subscribers. It's freaking amazing. Please tell me your secret.
I wish I knew. I wish I knew what I was doing. For a really long time, I've battled self-confidence problems, and I look at what's going on right now with the channel, and I just how did I get to this point? But in some weird way, I almost feel like those feelings have helped, and I haven't been afraid, and I haven't shied away from putting myself out there, showing the world, well, who am I really, and sharing that on my streams, on my videos, and whatever I'm thinking, I'll put it out there. If it, sometimes it sticks, sometimes it's like, where the hell did he come up with that? But I feel like maybe that's part of what's gotten me to this point, that people have latched onto that and have seen that at least I've tried to be genuine with them. And I've never been about those channels where it's this, they're putting on this face. They're giving you what they think you want to hear, what you want to see. I'm just me. And I think that's worked.
Definitely. And with modern age technology these days, in the 21st century, we're given all these great platforms such as YouTube and gaming consoles that are able to give you the opportunity to do that. And most importantly, I think that's what attracts people to you. You are you. And that's the whole point of creating content, to be yourself. And people might not like you. Not everyone likes Howard Stern. Not everyone's going to like anybody, right? 50-50. Yeah. I'll be happy if I have half the people that I know like me, but nonetheless, I know, NASCAR got a lot of things, or they got a lot more eyes on it, if you will, last year with the whole, what happened with Bubba Wallace and the whole news fiasco and whatnot. And with them going into the shutdown during the pandemic, we saw a lot of the iRacing stuff going on, during the week, which was actually kind of fun. You gave us a little bit of excitement, right? Mm-hmm. But nonetheless, do you think that your channel has picked up quite significantly since all that stuff happened in 2020 with Bubba and Michael Jordan owning a team and the pandemic and the iRacing, which would kind of link to you, people trying to play the game or whatnot? Did you see your channel expand last year, so much more than the years before?
Oh, it was night and day difference.
I figured.
From it was March. Last year in March. I mean, I feel like that's how it kind of worked for a lot of people online when the shutdown happened. So many people were home, and so many more people were on their phones looking for something to, Mike, trying to pass the time. They were looking for something to do, and that's when the ball started rolling. And then going into the summer, it was crazy, and that continued. I continued on this uphill climb since then, and yeah, then in like the last month or two, it just blew the roof off.
I mean, the pandemic is not over, but people are getting vaccinated and everything. What do you contribute that to then? I mean, you saw the uptick at the beginning of the pandemic, but how it just blew up over the past month. What do you contribute that to?
Well, I started doing YouTube started up with these shorts.
Oh yeah.
These YouTube shorts. I started doing those, and that changed the game for me. I started seeing numbers on videos that I had never seen before, and I feel like there's this buzz around NASCAR for the first time in quite a while.
Since the 90s.
Yeah, I feel like there's this renewed interest, and that's starting to bring new people in, a new audience. I mean, my demographics, they've started to change, and it's cool to see. Yeah, I think there is a new buzz that's coming.
Are you getting younger people watching? Because that's actually some good info to know. I'm sure NASCAR might even like those type of numbers and data for their own personal needs, right? Oh, like this guy that's such a big streamer for NASCAR. I wonder how his demographic has changed. So I would say it's probably younger people, right?
Well, I would say. I mean, my biggest audience has always been I think it's 25 to 34. That's always been huge. It used to be a lot bigger with like the 13 to 23 crowd. That used to be the biggest. But in the last year, that's shifted to the 20, 25, 34. I think that's the range that YouTube gives you. So that's interesting to see.
I turned 34 on Saturday, so this is the last year you have me. Sorry. You get me for another 365 days, and May 1st, 2022. Sorry, I'm out.
You've been adding to my demo, though.
I know, right? That's true. I'll add to the 35 to 52. Okay, so let's get into like the game. So I personally love the F1 videos. Love those ones. Is there a specific season that you like doing more than other, like the Inside the Line or the Heat 3, or I think it's NASCAR 2003 you do stuff, or even if it's the Monster Trucks? Is there a specific game that you like doing more than others? Like you're like, hell yeah, I can't wait to put this video together instead of more than most.
Yeah. Right now, I look forward to every Friday, because every Friday I record an episode of NASCAR Inside Line season, and I just love the story. And like I did a season mode for NASCAR 2011, played through the whole thing, and just the feedback I was getting, I was loving it. The viewers were loving it. Coming down to the end of that season and then going into this Inside Line season, it's like the sequel, and it feels like I got this story. Like it's just slowly building, and I want to work my way through. Technics had 5 years of games, and I want to do each one. It's going to take me years to do, because I do an episode every Sunday. But yeah, that's one thing I really, really enjoy my Fridays right now, because I get to record an episode of that.
Nice.
What would you say one of your most challenging tracks are that you have to race on? I saw you doing Sonoma, man. That was one of my hardest ones too.
I mean, I've always enjoyed the road courses. A track that I'm trying to think, what's one track in all the games that's always screwed with me? I mean, I had a video where I did Inside Line a couple of weeks ago where I did New Hampshire, and why are they giving us tracks that are just flat? Give us some banking to work with. Like, it sucks. It's so flat, and no one's passing each other. New Hampshire is
the Magic Mile.
The Magic Mile. Yeah, I'm not crazy about it.
Yeah.
both in real life and in video games.
You know, I used to not like it as much in real life. I used to call it, the mad boring, more like the boring mile, but it seems to
Yeah.
come to life a little bit more, maybe with the new package that they're running there. But just like I told Mike with Richmond a couple weeks ago, I remember like Richmond being somewhat of like a fun track to watch, and that kind of lackluster that race there a couple weeks ago till the end. But I don't know. I guess the packages and everything, but Fontana's going to go through a huge overhaul, which I don't know how I feel about that. To me, that's
Yeah.
like one of the funnest tracks on the circuit with that
I
worn
agree.
out surface, but they want to make it like a Bristol or whatnot. What are your favorite tracks on the circuit, in real life that you like watching, you enjoy your racer, the 48 on there?
Yeah, I always love the races at Bristol. When they announced Dirt Bristol last year, I was like, why are they doing this? I would dump
This is
dirt.
why, baby.
Yeah.
This
Giggles
is why.
Logano over there. Okay, that's the only track he'll win on this season.
Ew.
So when I saw it, I was like, why? There's so many other tracks. Like Richmond, I find very boring to watch the races. I would rather them dump a whole ton of dirt on Richmond. And I love the races at Bristol. I love Martinsville. I guess, the short tracks. I mean, Talladega, it's, always, and Daytona, those are always some must-sees. But I think I found myself really falling in love with the tracks where Jimmy dominated. Like, I always look forward to a race at Dover, watching that on TV, and I got to see him win one race in 2013 at Dover. So that's, personally just one of my favorite tracks. I know they eliminated a race there this season, which kind of sucks, but I think the shorter tracks always have my interest.
So I think you answered one of two of our chat questions, but who's your favorite NASCAR racer? So we're assuming that it's Jimmy Johnson. There we go.
He's
Yeah, so who is it
retired,
now?
so.
I mean, you unveiled it in a video about a month ago, I believe.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'm sticking to it.
Benedetto.
I announced a month ago that it was Larson, but I like after that I watched him, and the week after I had said, oh, he's my new driver. He dominated Atlanta and then got passed right at the end by Blaney and lost. But when that happened, I didn't feel like if that was Jimmy out there and he got passed, I think it would have hurt more than when I was watching Larson. So that just like told me I don't know if he's it. So the way I've been going about it is Hendrick Motorsports for the win. I don't care which one, but as long as, because I've always loved Rick Hendrick. I've always loved that team, and I just want to see them do well.
And then the other question is, Michael, will you ever play Getting Over It again? Watching you play that particular game was hilarious. So what is that? You're going to have to teach us what the hell that is.
Well, I see Caleb in the chat, and I know he's over on my videos all the time, and he's been asking me to play Getting Over It for so long, and it is not happening. I hate that game with a burning passion. How do I explain this game? You're a guy in, I don't know, it's like you're in a big pot. You only see the upper half of this guy. He's like freaking ripped. He's jacked. And you're sitting in this pot, and you got a sledgehammer. Mm-hmm. And you have to move your mouse in that kind of motion to move the sledgehammer to work your way forward. So you then have to climb a mountain with this sledgehammer and climb over these obstacles, only moving your mouse. And you have to just be so gentle just to work your way up this stupid freaking mountain. And I swear to God, I don't think I've ever lost my mind that way. In any other game I've ever played, I went absolutely ballistic. I ran outside in the snow, grabbed a sledgehammer, and tried to do it myself.
I mean,
I have bad
mean,
memories.
we saw you play. What was it like months ago? You live streamed. What the hell was that game where you wear different skins and then you're just like bumping into each other and you're like remember there's like different mini games. What was that again? People in the chat. Man, it wasn't that new one like a.
Fall Guys.
Fall Guys. So you see Fall Guys. I see one in here. Would you ever play Fortnite? So would you ever kind of consistently go outside of the racing realm? Would you ever play those kinds of games?
I think if I felt comfortable enough with like where the channel was at and like the size of it, like you see, I'm no PewDiePie, but I look at what he did. He did horror games for years, and then he was finally big enough, and then he could just play whatever the hell he wanted, and it didn't matter because people were going to watch it. I kind of look at it the same way. Like, racing is what I know and what I'm good at, I think, and there's a certain comfortability there, and I think if it ever got to the point where it was big enough, then I would probably start to look to branch out into other things.
So
I like that. I like that. He's not happy enough where his channel's at, and he found his niche. So I like that you just keep sticking with it, man. I mean, I think you find what you like, and obviously it's been growing. I mean, why if it ain't fixed, don't broke it, right? If it don't fix, don't broke
don't
it.
broke it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Don't break it. But
yeah,
have you ever? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, kind of, you're getting, I see you're always like in first, second, or third place, it seems like, but if you ever feel like one day you're gonna be done kind of mastering the console side of it and maybe move on to that whole iRacing thing with the whole rig and, maybe even one day racing against these Dale Juniors and guys that hop on it. I mean, at the pace you're going, you might get invited one day to like race on that thing. You never know, but have you ever thought about it?
Yeah, I really the thing holding me back from diving deep into the iRacing is my setup here. Every time I do iRacing, I have to get the damn wheel and the pedals out of the closet. I got to tie it down to my desk here, and it's gotten to the point I just hate doing it. I hate I hate moving my whole setup around and getting just prepared to use this steering wheel and these pedals. But I think that that's the end goal to finally dive deep into the iRacing to really master it. I'm right now running a series on my channel, a season mode in iRacing against the AI, because I feel like I'm kind of I don't know a hell of a lot about iRacing yet. I still have a lot left to learn, and just the handling of the cars and getting better with that. So I think the AI iRacing, I'm slowly learning with that, and maybe one day when I have my full loadout, I got my rig, I got the money to buy a rig because to get one of those things.
Yeah.
But
you can try to win one through your girl Natalie Decker, though. I think she was giving one away the other day.
What, she's giving them away?
She was giving one away the other day on like her Instagram or something, like enter to win, I believe, or something. Because I thought it was funny when you made that little skit of her. Because,
she's not giving me shit now.
Oh, man.
She ain't giving it.
That's hella funny.
There ain't no way.
That's funny. Jimmy says you are the Leroy Jenkins of NASCAR. Nick and Christopher also say hi to you, Mike. So
hello.
Let's get into like the actual sport. So, I mean, 9 out of 10 races so far have produced different winners. I think that's great. Nice parity for Nuke fans. It's not like last year where it was Hamlin and Harvick winning every goddamn race. So how do you see the rest of the season playing out? Do you see, can you even give us a top 4 in the championship race in Phoenix? And how many different racers are there going to end up being? Are we going to see something where it's like, oh my God, there's 17 winners. And so who's the one who's a winner and left out,
Yeah. I've been waiting for that season where we have 17 and someone gets left out because, they've been saying from the get-go, oh, you win, you're in. Well, technically, that's not true. there is a possibility that you could be left out with a win. And I think that's like what everybody's waiting for. They, want to see that drama. Do I think we get there this year? I feel like it's going to plateau at some point, but it's going to level out. You're going to run out of good drivers to win. I mean, right now I could see Harvick winning. I could see Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott. So that's 3. That's
Danny's gonna win
Hamlin.
one. You can't run this good and not win one. Hamlin.
Yeah. That would bring us to 13. Kurt Busch won in the playoffs last year, but Ganassi hasn't been that spectacular this season. So I don't see.
Yeah.
16 is a hard number to get to, and then 17 is that much harder.
Yeah.
You got to think about the variables too. I think thrown in this season with all the different road courses that we're having.
That is true.
That
is true.
I think that those can go kind of either way, even though Chase kind of looks like the favorite on all these damn road courses. But we saw what Christopher Bell did in Daytona in the second week of the season. So, I mean, I think that a lot of those are up for grabs, really. I don't know if maybe a one-off can come in there like an AJ Allmendinger and win one of those. Obviously, he probably wouldn't be able to go to the playoffs for the Cup Series, but yeah, I think 16 and 17 is far-fetched, but 13, 14, hey, bring it,
Yeah, I think that's possible. Like Final Four, though, you mentioned, I mean, it's tough now, but looking at how it's set up, the playoffs, if Truex can make it to the round of 8, I think, and Martinsville is in the round of 8, I think he could easily be a lock in that Final Four. I picked Chase to look to defend his championship before the season started. And I mean, they haven't been great to start, but they've always got it together late in the going. So I could still see that happening. William Byron, mega surprise this season. And he's looking like they're going to be good. And like maybe they could get something together, get a run together. So that's 3. Who else do I want to throw in there?
Where's Vegas fallen? Is Vegas the final 8 or whatever? Because there's Larson too. If he comes back and races the same way in Vegas,
that's the first. I think
it is a
playoff
race.
That's the second playoff race.
Okay.
So that's the round of 16. But
early.
Larson too.
Yeah.
Larson's been great in his return. So Hendrick Motorsports fan. Gladly, I'll take 3 in the Final Four, and I'll throw Martin in as the last one.
There you go.
And giving Team Penske no love, huh?
So,
well, I ain't
he's
about
a Chevy
it.
guy.
Well, yeah, but wouldn't you say, would you take a Ford over a Toyota?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, there you go. So,
what do you
forget about that garbage Toyotas?
Jesus, hey, they're reliable on the road, though, man.
Can't
hate on
am
them.
I worried about reliability on the road, or am I watching a race?
True. I just wish that they win. I just wish that they made a V8 car. They got them in their
That's
truck.
my problem.
There's no V8 car, and you're I guess win on Sunday, sell on Monday, but you can't really sell if the car doesn't have the same damn engine.
Can I take a Camry 200 miles an hour? I don't think so.
So how many different tracks have you been to? And then what track have you not been to that you would like to go to the most?
I have been to Watkins Glen, Pocono, Dover, Martinsville, and Phoenix.
Okay.
So I've got 5 checked off. One that I would like to go to, we were talking about this on my stream last night. I would really love to see, this isn't even NASCAR, but an Indy 500.
Oh, there you go.
I would love to go to the Brickyard.
For sure.
Nice.
And then if we're going out of the U.S., I would love to see a Monaco Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Another bucket list item.
What about a 24-hour at Daytona? That'd be pretty great. Sports
that'd be
cars.
Cool. I'd be down for that.
Now, or if you're rich, When we all become rich, you have a private jet, and isn't that the same day as you can go to the Indy 500, then fly over to Charlotte for the Coca-Cola 600? There you go.
1,100 miles. I'm going to sit there in the stands and watch in one day.
Hell yeah. Oh, man.
How do you feel about the Gen 5 car or the next gen, whatever the hell? I forgot how many damn gens they got going forward. Their big reveal is on May 5th. Do you, Cinco de Mayo, do you have any opinion on, do you like the one lug nut that they're going to go with, the one big center lug like they have in the sports cars? And I think I saw something leaked today. They look kind of wide to me, but I don't know. That could just be some BS, but the Mustang looked kind of wide to me. I just hope it gives us better. I mean, I think the racing's been all right, but sometimes it's still lackluster. I don't want to see Larson. I want to see Logano, but not Larson 14 seconds ahead at Atlanta, but I think that NASCAR does try. That's one thing. They are always trying to stay 1 foot ahead of trying to create better racing. They did it with the stages. They try to do it with packages and spoilers and whatnot. But how do you feel about the next season coming up? And I think that a lot of teams this year, I don't know if they're sandbagging, but I think that they're not interested in this season as much or putting money and effort into their cars as much, like a Stewart Haas that hasn't really been doing that great. We saw what Harvick did last year with 9 wins, but I think some teams are kind of looking forward already to next year. What are your thoughts? Are you looking forward to it? Or are you still in the moment last year of this car and what we have?
I'm kind of on the fence with this next gen car, only because I saw those pictures of it and I see a splitter. I see the side skirts like all the way down to the pavement, and I see the quarter panels way down low, very close to the track. And you think about the golden age of NASCAR when the racing was at its best. I would say the early 2000s, it was really good. They didn't have that stuff. They weren't sealed off to the track the way they are now, and that's what allowed, you got some air underneath the car. The cars danced around in the corners. You really had to wheel those things. And now drivers have said it, they've become too easy to drive, and they reduce the horsepower, so there's less off throttle time. I get why they're going in the direction they are, because it's supposed to be more cost efficient with dropping the horsepower. But is it
more manufacturers in the sport as well, right?
Yeah,
I think they're going for that as well.
Yeah, they want that more. But is the product on the track going to suffer because they're chasing that?
Unfortunately, I think about us being long life fans, Mike. I think double mics. I think that the thing that I think is that it's just going to be like, we're not going to be able to do anything about it. It's just going to be like, you're going to have to go with the times, and you either going to stick with the sport or you're not. And I've heard about like they might even implement like in the future type of like engine with like a regenerative system that brings energy back to the engine or whatever, kind of like, or when you brake, I don't know, like it's kind of like a hybrid. I don't know. I hope that NASCAR never goes away from the V8, but I mean, it's sad to say that I think eventually that's where the sport is headed, man, especially with manufacturers wanting to get into it. But then it might just be more like a sports car series type of thing. And it's already changed a lot, because when I went to the race in 2007, you could smell that the gas, the fuel, like it had like a sweet smell of like octane at the track. Now when I go to the races, the gas, the smell doesn't seem to like have that same type of like smell. I think they've gone greener on the gas and just probably the engine in particular. But yeah, it's just the sport's changed. I don't know. The cars might not even be as loud as they once were, but they're still loud as hell. But it's just, I think we're going to go in a different direction in these next 10 to 15 years, but we're just going to have to either stick with it or not, guys.
Yeah, it kind of seems that way. And I mean, think about then when they brought in stages, this whole stage racing. Yep. I mean, tons of people left because they're like, what the hell is this? What is this manufactured drama? I know plenty of people that I've, been in contact with through my streams and my videos that just don't care for it anymore because they feel it's manufactured drama, and it's becoming like the WWE.
That's when I jumped.
I mean,
that's when I jumped in stages. So
yeah,
I think it was
but it's also brought new people in.
Yeah.
But I'll also beg to differ because I did go to one race at Fontana one year. It's a 200-mile race on a 2-mile racetrack. It ended up raining and getting red flagged at the 120th lap with no stages, nothing. So we watched 120 straight laps of Tony Stewart pretty much leading the whole thing, which I'm not a fan of, being a Carl Edwards fan back then, right? You got Stewart leading the whole thing pretty much, it felt like. And then it gets red flagged for lightning and thunder and whatnot at lap 120, and then they call the race. I was like, that was boring as hell. Not one restart, nothing. Like, at least if there was stages, we at least would have got to like 2 stages, would have got to see a couple restarts, a little bit more drama. So, I mean, I like the stage racing in particular. The double file restart, I think that was great. Single file, I get it, more traditional, but I mean, come on. The sport's way more exciting in the direction they've gone in my opinion. It's just people don't like change, especially people diehards of this sport. A lot of diehards, I listen to the NASCAR station a lot, Sirius XM, and I hear all types of callers call in all the time. And some of these diehards, they just don't like to see change. But 2021, you got to get used to it, right?
Yeah, I think at the beginning with the stages, I was like, I don't know about this because, I had been watching for years up to that point where it was just start, finish. If there was a caution, there was a caution. Someone wrecked, they threw the yellow. That was it. What I think was really dumb was that caution clock in the truck series that they did for one season.
Oh my God.
That had to be one. I don't know who came up with that, but my God, that was stupid. If there's not a caution in 20 minutes, we're going to throw a caution.
Don't even remind me of that.
God, that didn't come
Are you
to the
serious?
Cup
They did
series.
that?
Yeah, they guinea pigged it in the truck series. That's right.
Oh my God, that was horrible. But, you look at it now, and I think stages, people have accepted it. And I think there was a big hurdle for NASCAR to clear. And I think it is for the better. There's way more drama now. And the playoffs, you look at Harvick last year winning 9 races, and then he can't even make it to the final 4. That I know a lot of people have a problem with, but it's the same when you go into that race that day. It's the same for everybody else, and he had way more bonus points, so they just didn't execute. So it's kind of like how you look at it. These changes that they're making, like you brought up the single lug nut, it's like, yeah, it's going away from tradition, but does it change things for me? Does it change like my interest in it? No, but people got to make a big stink about it because they don't like change.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, the 18-inch alloys also, instead of the little 15-inch steelies, that's going to be a little bit different, more like sport tires and whatnot. But don't forget, Michael, the whole reason why we got the playoff and everything now is because of the guy the hat that you're wearing. That number 48, man. People were sick of him just winning on points. And
They changed the chase, the playoffs so many times because they were sick of him. And he won in every different format. That's why he's the best, and no one's telling me otherwise.
no one's gonna get 8. I mean, to get 8, you got 3 guys with 7. Man, I don't know. I don't think anyone could ever probably get that close to like what they have accomplished with 7.
Yeah.
But that'd be crazy. You never know.
Thanks, Weatherboy, for
Especially
joining in
now.
the chat. He says it's
Weatherboy.
kind of true though. Like when people they want to complain on social media when they're indifferent, but they say they hate it. It's kind of true, and it's not just the changes in NASCAR. It's a lot of things in our world right now that people want to just get attention for on social media, complain, when really it doesn't affect them at all. So who knows? We'll see what the changes are. But lastly, in NASCAR, we'll just get into this week's race. Kind of get your feeling on Kansas, give a prediction. We usually look at stats like, just based off of history and stuff. So what do you think about this weekend?
I think I'm excited for one, going back to an intermediate, because I think Hendrick has the package down this season. They've shown, at Atlanta, at Las Vegas, Of course, now I'm like blanking what other ones there have been. Like we've been to Miami, yeah. So we've won 2 out of the 3. Should have been 3 out of the 3 with Larson dominating Atlanta, but I think they've got it down, and I think they'll be the ones to watch. Other team, I mean, Penske has also been good on those mile and a halfs. Gibbs, I don't think really has. Denny Hamster, as I like to call him, he's been the only Gibbs driver that really showed anything on the mile and a half. The other guys were just kind of there. So it'll be interesting to see how they perform. But I'm looking at Hendrick to lead the way this weekend.
Mark, what do you think, man?
Well, you got Kyle Larson. He's a 5-1 favorite right now. I'm looking at the odds with Hamlin 5-1 also as well as Hamlin right now. You know, Truex a 5.5, so 6-1, I'd say. Blaney 7-1, Keselowski 8, Chase 9. Even Harvick up there, a very underperforming 2021. Kevin Harvick is 10-1 with a Logano 12-1 and a Busch. I mean, I'd take Logano at 12-1 way before I'd take Harvick and Busch at 10-1. But unless they think Logano might have a little mild concussion there, but Bowman and Byron 18 and 16-1 respectively. So they're really high on the Larson and the Chase car, not so much on the Bowman and the Byron car, which is, you know, I feel like a lot of times these odds are kind of like popularity contests. I mean, how could you not have Byron up there with like at 11-1, 10-1, 12-1, 16-1? Like you just mentioned earlier, Byron's been performing pretty damn good this season. I just think, you know, Vegas and all these odds makers, they kind of try to skew the odds and more of these popular drivers because we know Byron, Bowman, they're still making a name for themselves. We know obviously Chase and Larson are the bigger names there at Hendrick, but I see some value actually in Bowman and Byron in there, and even a Logano at 12-1. But who knows? Who knows who's going to win this Bushy McBush 400 at Kansas Speedway?
What? They ripped that off from me.
Yeah.
The Bushy McBush? Well,
that is, oh man. I was going off on Twitter when I saw
Michael,
that.
can you please tell Mark your nickname for Kyle Busch, please?
It is Bushy Bitch. I have been calling him that for the last 4 years. And here Busch Beer comes along and names the race the Bushy McBush 400. Please, come on now. You know whose videos they're watching.
Yeah, they better send you your royalty check.
That's what I'm saying.
That's hilarious. So Mark, so you said you would take Logano over Harvick, but who are you taking to win the race?
Who am I taking to win the race? Kansas. I mean, Logano is good at Kansas. I don't think that Penske has been all there. I think it's we're in the mile and a half. I think that it's going to be probably between a Gibbs and probably between a Hendrick. Man, I do kind of like Larson. I don't like laying like chalk like that, but Larson I think is going to do pretty damn good at that track. And I think that Hamlin, just because he's so fired up, it's kind of, I'd probably have to go with either them two. And for some value picks, you know, I'd probably, like I said, I'd be looking at a Byron and probably, I can't do DiBenedetto. He's coming back, but
he'll be leading with 2 to go, and then he'll give it up.
I just can't. Almirola, I can't either. Probably, you know, that my threshold is probably a Byron and a Bowman at about 18-1 there in these odds, but I can see Chase also trying to get his first win here.
That's who I like. I think I like Chase. Let's just keep it going. 10 out of 11. Let's just keep it going. Just root for like the different drivers and stuff. There you go. But man, what an amazing conversation in NASCAR. So moving on. So Mike, I think I heard you one time in a live stream. Are you a Seahawks fan? Okay, cool. Okay, so I got that right because I was like, Seahawks fan. So he's not an Eagles fan. He's not a Steelers fan. So for me and Mark, who are Raiders fans, we like hearing that you're a Seahawks fan because we don't like the 49ers very much. So I hate them. So with the NFL draft, you picked a perfect week to come on because the NFL draft starts tomorrow. I actually does Seattle have a pick in the you don't know who has a pick because the Rams haven't had a first round pick in like freaking 5 years or whatever, and then they lost 2 more with the Stafford trade. So you know, what's up with your Seahawks?
I think watching. Okay, you watch what happened in that Super Bowl with the Chiefs. That's what's been plaguing the Seahawks for I don't know how many years now. Ever since their Super Bowl. Well, I'll bring it up. Ever since their lost Super Bowl.
Oh my God!
Because they should have won that one too. But following that year, their offensive line they can't protect whatsoever. Russ is running for his life 9 times out of 10 on a pass play, and well, that's when they do pick a pass play because most of the time they're running the damn ball and not getting anywhere. And that goes back to the offensive line. They need to get 5 guys that can protect.
There you go. I mean, how did you feel? Like there were rumors for like a week or two that he was going to get traded to a couple of different teams. I think the Bears were out there, the Raiders. I was like, what? Like, why would you switch up? Like a number 3rd, 4th best quarterback in the league, but then give them like the 10th? I don't know. It just didn't make any sense at the time. I'm glad that they didn't go through with it.
I don't even understand where that came from. Like, why? What's the reasoning? Who are you going to get to replace him? The guy makes so many plays every game because you don't give him anything. And you got DK Metcalf, you got Tyler Lockett, you got great wide receivers, and they make magic happen when they're handed just a terrible offensive line and 0 running game. I don't know who are you going to get to replace Russ? Who's better?
I mean, just the way he plays and how he opens the play up, he can evade contact at the line and then create plays. Maybe Mahomes, and that's pretty much it.
You ain't getting him.
Yeah, and you're not getting him.
It's just like I have no idea what they were thinking.
It was freaking ridiculous. But let's see. Let's say hi to some people. Mikey, Caleb, dude, I think Caleb wants some smoke there, Michael. He says Kyle Busch.
Oh, he's always
Kyle Busch over Jimmy and the Jets over the Seahawks. Man.
Yeah, I know. I hear it all the time.
JJ Fan 48 and Master of Light 24. But yeah, I'm excited. I think we might go live tomorrow. So if anyone can follow our Instagram, you'll see us kind of just sit there every 10 minutes. Because, just for drama, the Jaguars know who they're going to pick, but they're going to wait the first goddamn 10 minutes to then actually make the pick.
Yeah.
So,
well, that Jets fan in the chat got 2 picks in this first round coming up here tomorrow.
That's right.
I don't see Seattle. Seattle, it's looking like they don't have a pick until the 4th round, if I'm not mistaken.
You serious?
Jeez, who have they been? I mean, I'm looking here. I don't seem to. Let me see.
So, Michael, they're not getting anybody, apparently.
The Jets got the second in the. We're talking Jets here, guys. All our New York fans, where you guys at? The Jets got the 2nd pick in the 2nd round as well. Yeah. Still looking for the Seahawks. I don't see nothing. Oh, here we go. Sorry, 24th pick in the 2nd round. So, yeah, I was surprised to see you guys so far down there. But the Raiders don't have much either, guys. So, we'll see.
That's crazy.
My question is, what players did we get for these picks?
Yeah. Is it
you're retaining Russell Wilson? That's what you're doing.
Guess.
I don't know. They have the dictator in, Pete Carroll, as non-USC fans call him Pete the Cheat, like my brother calls Pete the Cheat. But I mean, they obviously, people read into this stuff, more than anybody. You hear like, oh, they had an argument. Oh, were there some screaming going on in Pete Carroll's office? Who was that just walked out? Oh my God, Russell Wilson just walked out of the goddamn office. They hate each other. They're going to get traded. Who are the top 5 teams who are going to want to trade for him? Like, what the hell is going on here? If anything's a soap opera, it's the 2 major sports in the NBA and the NFL. That's the goddamn soap opera.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I don't know where it started. I don't know how that became such a big story, but I don't know if it actually have traction, or was it just all a bunch of bullshit? I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know, but it is his way or the highway. I mean, there's 3 coaches like we've mentioned in the NFL who, if they want something, they're going to do it, no matter who's in charge, no matter what. It's Pete Carroll, Bill Belichick, and John Gruden. So those 3 guys, if they want something done, they're going to get it done. Like trade Amari Cooper and trade Khalil Mack, arguably your only 2 good first-round picks over in your tenure. So yeah, thank you for that, John. But The first round's always exciting for you on the East Coast, Mike. I don't even know if you're going to make it through the 32nd pick. But
I usually don't.
Yeah, but I mean, and then Friday and Saturday, I'm glad that they shortened it from 4 days to 3. I didn't need to. I never watched, the rounds 5, 6, and 7 on Sunday. I didn't give it crap.
I don't care about those.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Tom Brady. Look at what round Tom Brady came out of. Come on now.
I know, but how often are you pulling a Tom Brady out of the 6th round of the draft? I'm not going to sit there and watch all these people that won't even make the team. No.
Those are for Mel Kipers and McShays and all those guys.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, but then you have, because there's only, but then again, there's some busts. I like to see who is going to get drafted in this top 10, and then look years down the road and you're like, oh, he was a bust. He was a bust. So it's taken off like nothing else. In this fantasy era, people are also looking into the fantasy mode too. So it's gonna be pretty crazy. Don't know.
I don't think teams are drafting these days though, Mikey, depending on how well their fans are going to do on fantasy.
Well, no, I know, but I mean how people pay attention to it. You know what I'm saying? So, Mark, Sean's not here, but can you give an opinion on his 3rd overall pick? This has been the talk of sports media the past couple of days. You have Trevor Lawrence going first. Wilson going second, we think. Who the hell out of those other 3 quarterbacks are the 49ers going to take? Who do you think?
Well, it's looking like it's going to be the guy from Alabama,
really?
From what they keep talking
Mac
about,
Jones?
Right? I mean, Mac Jones, I think, what do I know, really? We're not out there scouting. Supposedly, it was supposed to be Wilson from BYU, I believe, but you're saying that it's looking like he's going to go second to the Jets. Justin Fields, he's getting a lot of heat right now with stuff surrounding him, but I do think it's going to be Mac Jones, man. I think that when there's smoke, there's usually fire, and I've been a NASCAR fan long enough that when I start hearing rumors, they're usually true. Though in the NFL, it might not be exactly the same, but we kind of know that. I think with Atlanta, they're saying that they might get Kyle Pitts. I think that they need a quarterback also. I would say that what's his name? Matty Ice ain't getting any damn younger, right? So I think Atlanta could actually surprise and maybe, do something with a quarterback there. But I think the first 3 are probably kind of forsaken. I think it's going to be Mac Jones going to the Niners. If any Niner fans are in the chat, let us know. Or if you're happy, thumbs up, thumbs down if you're upset. But I think it's going to be Mac Jones.
So, Michael, how'd you become a Seahawks fan? Born and raised in Pennsylvania. That's, I don't know if it's Eagles or Steelers country, but those are like 2 hardcore, diehard fan bases. How did you become a Seahawks fan?
Well, geez, how do I even explain this one? I have a hard time pledging my allegiance to solely one team.
Okay.
I love the Seahawks, but I'd also really love to see a Vikings. I want to see them in the Super Bowl.
There you go.
In the worst way. I love the Vikings. I love Vikings too. They were, when I first started watching football, that was my team. And I got my 4 Brett Favre Vikings jersey in the closet. So that I followed along that 2009 season when Brett Favre was on fire, that first year he was with the Vikings.
Yeah.
And then they went to the NFC Championship game, and Bounty Gate happened with the Saints.
Yeah.
Saints killed him. Ended his career effectively. He came back the next season, but he was never the same. He was garbage after that. So then the Saints go into the next season. This all loops back around to the Seahawks, I'm telling you. The Saints, next season, they have to play in the wild card round against the 7-9 Seahawks.
That's right. Remember that. They won the division, or no, they didn't win the division, or did they? Yeah. When they had to go to Seattle.
The Seahawks won their division because the NFC West was so horseshit that they got to host a game, and the Saints had to go to Seattle, and the Beast Quake happened.
Yeah, the crouch grab.
And that is when I became a Seahawks fan.
There you go.
Because they beat down the piece of shit Saints that ended. Who was my favorite player when the guy I picked out when I first started watching, Brett Favre, the Saints that ended his career. The Seahawks eliminated him, and I was happier than a pig in shit. I was so damn excited that game, and it just that was the Beastquake game, and oh my god, it was great.
I mean, that was
great.
That's cool because that comes full circle with us because he's from Oakland, California. So full circle where Beast Mode's from. There you go. But
Seattle Seahawks a 28-1 favorite to win the Super Bowl though this year with Kansas City and the champions Tampa Bay Buccaneers sitting at the top at 5-1 and 6-1 respectively.
Who's going to be
with the Green Bay Packers at a 12-1 as well, coming in third place. San Francisco's also getting love with no quarterback drafted yet, but 14-1 guys. So
who's going to beat Tom Brady in Tampa Bay? Who's going to beat him? He just all 22 starters are returning. It's insane.
Incredible.
What the hell?
Doesn't mean all 22 starters are going to remain healthy, Michael.
Well, come on, it's Tom Brady. Of course they are.
True.
It's Tom Brady. He's got some magic fairy dust, and I mean, Michael, being a Raiders fan, you know how I feel about Tom Brady. Back in 2001 with the Tuck rule, I was 13, 14 at the time, so it's like the peak of I am now a sports fan. Yeah. That ruined me for forever. I have been cynical of the Raiders ever since, so I haven't had a good year football wise.
Yeah, I gotta say I like the Vikings, I like the Seahawks, and then I like Tom Brady.
Oh,
like that guy turns water into wine. Everything he touches is gold.
Yeah.
And I love that he goes first year out from underneath the dictatorship that is New England with Bill Belichick. And he goes out on his own. He goes down to Tampa, Brady and or Beatty, whatever you want to call it, and
delivers.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe. And in their home stadium, they're the first team to go to their home stadium and win the Super Bowl. Like, what?
That was
cards
incredible. Were all stacked up. That's why I wanted to go to Reno so bad and just drop the house on it, man. I knew it. I called it. The Tampa Bay Lightning won the Stanley Cup. Then the Tampa Bay Rays made it to the World Series and pushed the Dodgers to a Game 7. I thought they were going to win it. I was like, look, Tampa Bay is going to win all damn 3 championships. Yeah. I mean, the Rays cut them short, but, man, it's just if there wasn't a game that was a lock, man, I'd have to say that Super Bowl with Brady losing to Mahomes in the regular season by, I think, 3 points, getting to play at home with the Tampa on your back, with the whole, like you said, leaving Belichick and just leaving New England and starting over and just having the opportunity to be the first player, the first team ever to win the Super Bowl in your own stadium. Man, the writing was on the wall for that. For the GOAT, Mike shakes his head.
I've matured though, Mark. I've matured. I've given him props, but I want him to lose every week. I want him to lose. I don't wish for any injuries. I don't wish for any of that. But I've grown up. I've matured now. But yeah, I just don't understand it. Jake Owens, thank you for joining the chat. He says Tom Brady is the equivalent to Jimmy with the golden horseshoe stuck up his ass.
Oh
man.
Basically something like that. I mean, look at the playoff run, and just it does look a little suspect. Some of the calls that they got from some of those refs, like especially that Packers game, I was like, that wasn't really holding there at the end of that one.
Yeah.
But we're never going to see this again. There's not going to be another quarterback that plays this long and racks up this many rings.
Right. He's going to be 44?
Something like
44.
I think this is I think it's 44 this year.
Yeah, 44 this year. I mean, that's unbelievable. I mean, we think about like a LeBron, how long he's going to play for. He's about my age, 36, 37-ish. I mean, I could see that dude playing till he's like 42 or something also, the way he's built and everything. But, obviously having a position in a sport where you're the least hit and I have the O-line protecting you, but nonetheless, man, he still has it up here, the most important part of that position, and his legs are, good enough to scramble, even though, man, you see him, that little slow start takes him forever to get going. But
it's hard
man,
to watch.
when you're that good, you don't have to really run, man. But
yeah, he's
props to Brady. I know we've had enough talk about it for Mike, but he wants Brady to expire like that damn Juan Pablo Montoya hat that he's wearing, dude. You got to tell him the story. How come you don't share him the story? How come you don't have that damn?
Well,
I would have canceled.
I did. I did cancel order. I was telling Michael before you jumped on. So I have this one too. This was like weeks before the infamous N bomb happened from Kyle Larson. Okay, so I wore this. This is the race in Fontana a couple years ago that he won. That's where I bought the first hat. This was one of my first couple of seasons being a NASCAR fan. So yeah, like I was telling you before, I go on NASCAR shop. This is January, okay? This is a month before the Daytona 500, and I buy this black, nice Hendrick Motorsports with the blue and with the red accent number 5, right? It's a Kyle Larson hat. Boom, he's back. He's finally got some gear up there because the other ones were strictly just from him at Chip Ganassi. So I order it, and it said, oh, this is a special event item. This won't get to you until April. So I was like, oh, shit. Okay, cool. 9-10 races into the season, then I get my hat. Fine, whatever. And then so the date comes, the expected delivery date, and there's still nothing, no update. So I actually, it was pretty cool. I got to chat with somebody on like their Twitter DMs or whatever, and finally I was like, you know what, screw it. Mark kind of talked me into it too. I was like, nah, I'm out. So I canceled the order, and then I don't know, maybe when I go to that playoff race in Vegas, I can get a hat at one of his, one of the shops or whatever. But yeah, dude, some Fanatics. If you go to their Twitter page, it's nothing but people talking shit about Fanatics, just and hating it. So.
Every time I see that hat, I just think about the damn jet dryer at Daytona, man. It's on Monday night, man, prime time.
I think that's what you call him, right, Michael?
What a crazy night.
Yeah, I call him Jet Dryer Montoya.
Yeah.
I was watching that one too. That was that was something else. I'm just glad he got out of that all right, because that looked bad. Man, that race was already so late.
Mm-hmm.
And that pushed it to like 2 a.m. I was like, I got
they had to repair it. That was like a 2-3 hour red flag. That was crazy. With Matt Kenseth actually prevailing back for Roush with his two 500 wins. But man, that kind of put NASCAR on the map for a little bit. The whole week they were talking about that, man. There's highlights all over the place, ESPN and everything.
Yeah,
good times, Juan. Good times, brother.
But this is the Comic Bookies podcast. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at the Comic Bookies. Email us at thecomicbookies@gmail.com. Check us out on this YouTube and Twitch page. Subscribe and follow so you can get up to date on all the videos we post and when we go live every Wednesday. We are here with Michael Marutz, YouTuber extraordinaire. You can catch him at least every Monday. He streams at least Mondays. And then his other weekly posts as well. Great intros, great characters, just great overall content. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. But as we do every week, we collide the worlds of sports and comics. So I kind of want to get into the comic book world, not just the books, but like the content as well. Movies, TV. So I wanted to ask you, kind of chatted a little bit before we jumped on, but your history with comic books.
It's limited. I for a time I was really into the Star Wars comic books. But then life took over and I dove into the YouTube stuff, and that's just taken most of my focus. So I don't really have a whole ton of time. But comic book wise, Star Wars, those comic books, that's what I was into at one point.
There's pretty good ones out now, actually. There's like side stories, and there's the Bounty Hunters ones, and there's a Darth Vader story. So there's always something cool that you can find in the Star Wars. Actually, there was like an episode of the cartoon. What was it? Something like that, where it was like a scene was taken out of a comic book. And that comic book became hot because, oh my God, you have to go get that book because you can only see that in the scene of the show from a comic book. So, that's pretty cool. But so I'm a cord cutter. I have like YouTube TV, and then for my daughter, we have, the Disney Plus, and we have Netflix and Hulu and stuff. So, are you doing anything on Disney Plus right now? Are you watching any of the Star Wars, like The Mandalorian? I know we can get into the MCU and Marvel, and your now kind of hatred for them. But start with, but kind of going along the lines of Star Wars. Do you watch like The Mandalorian and those side shows now?
Well, that's another thing that has suffered from constantly working on the YouTube side. I need to start watching The Mandalorian because I hear how Star Wars fans that were Star Wars fans before the Disney takeover, and we could go deep into that, and I'll share my opinions on that.
Do.
But that people that were fans from the George Lucas era love The Mandalorian.
It's really good.
And I haven't found the time. I really, really need to watch it.
It's really, really good. And for people who watch like the Clone Wars show, and because you probably know from just being on social media, Ahsoka, she's in the second season. It's just, they do it so well. And I put it up there with like this era. When I was a kid, I think episode 1 came out in like 99 or 2000. So, I'm like a little kid. So I appreciate it. It doesn't age as well now, but I loved watching the pod racing scene. So, but in this specific era, like the Disney era, it's like Mandalorian, and I loved Rogue One. And like everything else is kind of like, like it's not horrible. I'm not one of those jaded people who are like, this sucks, this sucks. It's like, it's just not my cup of tea, But like Rogue One and Mandalorian, must watches.
Rogue One, I can't comment on The Mandalorian, but from what I've seen, Rogue One was the best thing that Disney has done. Episode 7, they had me.
Yeah.
It was a remake of episode 4. Like, it was the same basic premise there, but they had me. I was interested. Yeah. And 8? Why is Luke looking to kill his nephew? Why? And then 9, Palpatine's alive.
Yeah.
How about that? Like, that completely diminishes the redemption story of Darth Vader. Palpatine still being alive. So, they screwed it up. They, instead of chasing a good story, I feel like, because there's so much that was written. I've read a bunch of books, Star Wars books, like canon. All this stuff that was written to go along with George Lucas's original idea, and they just completely said, "Fuck all that," and they came up with something. It's the story they wanted to tell, and I don't think that was the story hardcore Star Wars fans were looking for.
Yeah, true. Mark, how much of that Star Wars stuff you watch, Mark?
Don't come to me for the Star Wars stuff, man. You know me, I probably watched maybe two and a half of those things my whole life. But, I told you when Disney took over for it, I really enjoyed that one, the first one that Jonathan Abrams was put on, with the Falcon or whatever, the Millennium Falcon that they have at Disneyland, right?
Yeah.
I enjoy that one. My wife actually did too, which, like I always say, is kind of a surprise because she's not the one to really enjoy those type of movies, but she did, and we watched it at the theater. It was great. I watched, which one was it back in the day? Was it The Phantom Menace way back in the day? I remember the damn video game too, but I'm not too big on the Star Wars thing, man. Never have been. Don't know if I ever will be, but I know it's huge. Working with a contractor today, actually, that say they were going to be on stream. I don't know if I see them, but Twitch Code Cowboy, if they're on Twitch, there you go, man. A shout out to you. Has a clean Darth Vader tat, and I mean, a lot of people highly respected what Mr. Lucas has created, man, and Disney thought so also to pay for all the damn rights to it and buy them out.
I mean, thank God all this stuff came out pre 3 years ago, because now that I have not one but 2 kids, I find it so difficult to watch kind of the things that I want to watch. Like my wife, she's really into the MCU, so we've watched WandaVision. We are one episode away from finishing Falcon Winter Soldier, so I at least get to watch those things. But dude, thank God all of like the Lord of the Rings movies came out. Thank God all of the Star Wars movies, the Harry Potter, all that stuff I really enjoy. Thank God it came out over the last 20, and not within the last 3 years, because I wouldn't have been able to watch it. I'm so goddamn busy.
There'll be more, brother.
Oh,
Don't
no,
worry.
yeah, there'll be more for me not to watch.
There'll be 10 times even more with all these streaming services now. Don't you worry, buddy.
I know. So it's insane. There's so much content, so many things coming out. Michael, about the MCU. So you told me beforehand there's a certain scene, certain movie that kind of killed it for you for the MCU. But going before that, leading up to it, what's your kind of like Mount Rushmore of the MCU movies? Like, what are your favorite couple movies?
Oh man. Well, I mean, I you can't top what started it all with Iron Man.
Yeah.
That was a great way to start. Thor Ragnarok was a great movie. Geez, I'd have to look at a list. I'm trying to think of some of the other. I mean, those are the two that come to mind.
Yeah.
Right away.
It's tough. Like if you gave me a top 5, there's like a Mount Rushmore for me, and then there's like an honorable mention because I throw those two in there, but it's hard to pick between. I really liked Infinity War more than Endgame, I would say, and then like Winter Soldier was really good, Civil War was really good.
Winter Soldier was
like both
good.
those Captain America ones are really good, and then obviously the Return of Spider-Man. Like Homecoming was bomb, so it's really hard for me to pick a top 4.
I would have to say the first Iron Man would have to be my favorite, just the way it all started off. And I can tell you what my least favorite was that first Captain America. Good God, that was
it was quite the setup. I mean, yeah, like that one, and then Thor Dark World.
Oh my God.
Speaking of Captain America, I got a little bit of news for you guys here. There's actually a 4th one coming here
I saw that.
across the desk from the Hollywood Reporter that they could be in the works for a 4th one, likely to feature the storyline of Sam Wilson, played by Anthony Mackie from the current streaming series of the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Social media ruined the season finale for me because there's all these pictures of him in like a Captain America Falcon-esque suit. I'm like, God damn it, he became Captain America, didn't he?
There it is. Got to stay off that social media, man. The fastest news station in the world.
They're also going to have the same showrunner, kind of piece of news. The same showrunner as Falcon Winter Soldier is going to showrun this Captain America 4. So, oh yeah, by the way, Michael, we'd like to get in some news too. By the way.
Yeah, that's fine. That's good.
If you got some entertainment gaming news, when the new NASCAR's coming out, drop it now.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I know, I hear September. So we'll see.
And it's not Heat, right? It's not Heat anymore?
No, the Heat series has officially ended. All the Heat haters can rejoice. It's finally coming to an end, and they're starting over entirely a new game engine. I think the company has been bought out by a bigger company, by Motorsports Games. And it's going to be a totally different game come September.
Wow. Well, I'm looking forward to that one. But Michael, Russell Crowe is playing Zeus because there was news that Russell Crowe was going to be have a cameo, small part in Thor, Love and Thunder, I think. So the Thor 4, Russell Crowe is going to be now jumping on the MCU side, and he'll be playing Zeus.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I saw him as Noah. That was a weird movie.
There you go.
I don't know if you guys saw that movie.
Nope,
but
never saw that one.
That's the first thing that popped into my head. I don't know why.
It's always.
I might have missed it, but you're more of a Marvel guy, Michael.
Yeah, I would say more Marvel.
He for sure is Marvel because he said live on stream one time. I asked him, I was like, Marvel or DC, and this is his verbatim. He says, besides comic bookies, besides Batman, everyone in the DC can kick rocks. I was like, oh wow, okay, we're gonna have some words when he jumps on the podcast.
Yeah, Batman's my favorite superhero.
Here, this guy.
Yeah,
We just best friends now, guys.
Yeah.
You guys just become best friends.
I love Batman, but there's not another superhero that DC has that does it for me.
What about villain? Joker's my guy.
Okay. Well, they got the best villains. I'll give it that.
I mean, Batman himself has
best
the villains.
Yeah, he's got all of them. I mean, Joker, Bane, Poison Ivy. He's got all of them. So that's one thing that DC has done right. The rest of it, however,
now that's just movie. Like movies. So like with us, like books right now, DC is murdering Marvel. Like, the best Marvel book that I'm reading right now is Alien. Alien should not be the best Marvel book right now. With all of the canon and content you have to offer me, you're going to offer me, because actually it's a mature reader's book. So there's some cussing and some extra gore and stuff to it. So I really enjoy it. But I mean, besides that, maybe like a Strange Academy, X-Men lost me. It's like so many.
So twisted. Yeah. I mean, the X-Men story got so complicated, Michael, from what we've known as kids and whatnot. And we were on it. I don't know how. We were on it for how many issues, Mike? Damn near 20. We had to drop it.
It
just
getting
too much other stuff to read. Even smaller publishers right now, the Images, the IDWs, they're really killing the game with some of their short stories, man.
And then one more piece of news I have is kind of colliding the worlds of sports and comics. ESPN and the Avengers are going to collaborate on a May 3rd NBA game with the Warriors, our Golden State Warriors, and the New Orleans Pelicans. Certain characters will make appearances during the live game. So trying to get certain fans to come in. I thought that was pretty cool. I saw that. So, I mean, for me and Mark.
Where's the game at?
I think it's in New Orleans.
I'm surprised it's not when they play the Orlando Magic.
I think I know, right? With Disney and everything. I think it's in New Orleans. So close enough, I guess. Just a short flight to Orlando.
A short smidget flight away.
Yeah. And then, Michael, we have our Disneyland, our beloved, because, Disney World down south of you, they opened up last July. Disneyland is opening up this Friday, finally.
Oh, cool.
So
cool.
And my wife actually told me today that they are checked. So if you have people in the chat, people viewing, people listening, whatever the hell, if you have a reservation to go to Disneyland, you better have proof that you're a California resident, because if you have an expire, like, oh my God, I used to live in Arizona. Nope, you're gone. Doesn't matter if you have a reservation, you have to prove that you're a California resident to get in.
The mouse wants verification. The mouse needs verification.
Oh, man.
Michael's like, I got Coney Island over here, though, on the East Coast. Coney Island, Atlantic City, guys.
Oh, man. So, Michael, I totally forgot. We kind of got on a tangent, but please give us your beef with the MCU.
The MCU, okay. I don't know. They lost me when they killed Iron Man. Maybe because he was my favorite character. Yeah. The writing was on the wall. I saw it coming. I knew it was coming. When I watched him die, I cried a little. I'm not gonna lie. It brought a tear to my eye, because it was like I started watching those movies. I mean, I was
2008,
13, 14 when Iron Man came out. And when did that one come out?
Endgame was like 2018, 19.
Yeah, so it kind of felt like
it was a whole 10 years.
My childhood, and then he dies, and I've lost interest entirely after that. After seeing that movie, I haven't seen any of them since. And I was telling you before we started, I think they might rope me back in with this new Spider-Man and bringing all those characters back. Yeah. Tobey Maguire and Dr. Octopus. Yeah. And because I think about, my Mount Rushmore of superhero movies are those first two Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire.
There you go.
And then the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy.
Oh yeah.
But with Spider-Man bringing back those characters that I think they might hook me. They might get me back with that.
Did you watch the one post Endgame, the Spider-Man: The Far From Home? Did you watch that one?
I haven't
Oh
seen that
wow!
one
So you
yet.
were like really, even though it's Spider-Man, you were like, I'm done with yous.
I completely I shut down with it.
All right. Well, you got to get back into it because Phase 4 is in full swing, and they have shows now. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot to
Yeah,
catch up
yeah.
on. You know, and then you got Loki starting in June. Black Widow comes out in July. Shang-Chi, I think, is September, and then you have everything else with Blade and Spider-Man and Doctor Strange
Yeah,
2,
yeah.
Thor 4, you know, and now what Captain America 4. So just more content for us, you know.
I'm
Captain
excited.
Marvel,
That's
too.
right, Captain Marvel 2, Black Panther 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see Doctor Strange
Yeah, it's like a
because
horror
they have
stuff.
well, I can't I think I'm blanking on the director. Um who directed the first Spider-Man movies?
Oh,
Uh
shit. God damn it.
what the hell is
I
his
have it on the
name?
tip of my tongue.
That's why I'm excited for that
Yeah.
movie. See what he's gonna do.
Yeah, going on the DC side, I'm actually really excited. They started filming The Flash last week or 2 weeks ago, and Andy Muschietti, the director of It, is directing The Flash. So
Okay.
something of because I know they're basing off of the Flashpoint paradox of him going back and saving his mom and then just totally screwing up the universe when he goes back in time. So something what of a horror thing that'll be cool. And I know that on Doctor Strange too, it's going to be like the first MCU like horror movie, so it's going to be kind of scary. So
Yeah,
that'd be
yeah.
cool to see.
Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi, that's right.
Oh, yeah,
Amy.
yep.
That's right. I think that's it. Mark, have you got anything else? I think we are donezo with episode 110.
I mean, that's pretty much it. I think we've covered a lot with Michael, and we appreciate him coming on. And just want to you get to finish it off, Michael. Give us, shout yourself out.
Yeah, give us your
tell us
plug
where-
yourself.
Tell the
Or your
fans
pages, follow
plug
you.
yourself, especially to our
Um,
NASCAR fans out there. Not
yeah.
many out in the West Coast, but we try to bring them.
Yeah, you could find me on YouTube. That's where I put most of my content. Michael Mrutz, Mrucz. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, same thing. If you just search Mrucz, I'm the only one out there.
Right.
So, yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you for letting me talk something outside of NASCAR. Football, movies. I there's a lot else than just NASCAR with me, so it's cool to be able to talk about
Yeah, hell
it.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, and you held your own with the entertainment and the comic side of it a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know a ton, but I try to keep up a little.
well, I mean, it's just a great story. It's just how you came up over the last 10 years. So, again, like I've looked at your accolades, 11,000 subscribers, over 4 million views total on your videos. It's just amazing. And so get the new NASCAR game in September. Catch up on all these MCU shows and movies, and you have to jump back on, and then we'll go ahead and talk about all that shit.
It sounds good with
All
me.
right.
And you picked the best niche. Remember, I'm telling you, how many people are playing Fortnite? How many people are playing Grand Theft? How many people are playing all these games? You got NASCAR, you built it up before the pandemic, like I mentioned, before the Bubba Wallace, before a lot of eyes are on it. The new generation car going to bring more eyes, more, manufacturers, more people into the sport. So even more people into the game. So congratulations for starting your channel when you did, and all the upbringing and promising future that you have with it going forward, man. Appreciate it. Good stuff, man.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been quite the ride already, and I'm looking forward to what's to come.
All right, so that is Mark and Michael Mrutz. This has been the Comic Bookies podcast. We are, of course, like every week, brought to you by Treasure Island Comics in Fremont, California. Enjoy the sports, enjoy the comics, and enjoy each other. Peace the hell out. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace. And
Bye,
always
everybody.
enjoy each other. And enjoy Michael Mrutz yelling his ass off, getting bumped into, finishing first on NASCAR. Check him out, YouTube Live.
Let's go, baby. It's Comic Bookies.